Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle products that are friendly to your skin. And today we're talking about dehydrated skin. This is something that I definitely do, struggle with from time to time. I have learned a lot throughout the years when it comes to dehydrated skin, and I've got lots of videos here on YouTube talking all about it. But I really wanted to create one master, epic video of all the hints and tips and tricks and everything that I've learned to help you if you're suffering with dehydrated skin. I've got so many tips in here, and I cover everything, not just products and techniques, but lifestyle, diet. I really do believe in a holistic approach to dehydrated skin. So if you're so ready to find out the tips, give the video a big thumbs up. And by the way, if you get value anytime throughout this video, don't forget to hit subscribe. All right, let's jump right into the tips. Let's kick it off with tip number 15, which is drink water. Ooh, I hate when people say this to me when I'm like, I have dehydrated skin. They're like, you just need to drink more water. And I'm like, wow, really wish it was as easy as that. I really wanted to bring this up because a lot of people do believe that dehydrated skin means a skin that is lacking in water. And that's not necessarily the case. The root cause of dehydrated skin is not because you don't have enough hydration or you didn't drink enough water. It really is actually due to your skin's moisture barrier function and the ability to hold hydration into your skin. So it's not necessarily that you're not getting enough hydration, it's that you're not able to keep it in your skin. I wanted to bring it up because it's almost like something that I want to myth bust, but it's also something I wanted to bring up because if you're not drinking enough, get on it, honestly. There's lots of benefits to it. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is beverages that might dehydrate your body. It may help. It might help. Is it going to be your main strategy? Absolutely not. There's other tips in here. That's why I started the video off with 15. We're going to count down to 1. It's not going to be your main strategy, but if you are drinking a lot of dehydrating beverages, like lots of caffeine, if you're drinking high amounts of alcohol throughout the week, which is actually pretty inflammatory to your skin, you may want to take a look at cutting back on those. All right, tip number 14, wear daily sunscreen. Yes. So of course we definitely want to wear sunscreen because it's one of the best anti-aging products out there. It protects your skin from UV damage and from skin cancer. But did you know that lots of UV exposure can also break down your skin's moisture barrier, resulting in dehydrated skin? Remember, it's all about that skin barrier function. And if you're exposing your skin to something that is going to weaken it or damage it, that means that the hydration you are putting into your skin is going to be escaping it, and that's where we get that dehydrated feeling. You might even be noticing like premature fine lines and wrinkles on your face because you just can't hold hydration in. That's really dehydrated skin. So it is really important to protect your skin from UV exposure because it's going to help your skin's moisture barrier stay strong and healthy. So kind of an uncommon tip here. Not everybody thinks about sun protection as a way to fight dehydration, but you definitely need to keep that moisture barrier protected. Tip number 13, avoid over exfoliating your skin. Now this one's tricky because everybody's levels of what they can tolerate are going to be very different. So I can't just say, just exfoliate 3 times a week and that's what works for everybody. Not necessarily. Some people can actually do more and need more, and some people don't need to exfoliate at all or can exfoliate a lot less than that. So I can't tell you what the right amount of exfoliation is for your individual skin, but what I can tell you is when you over exfoliate, when you push your skin too far, that's when you weaken your skin's moisture barrier. This is going to be a common theme throughout the video. It's all about that barrier care. So you definitely don't want to be overusing your exfoliants if you are, feeling the symptoms of dehydration. If you feel like your skin is always super thirsty and parched, take a look at how often you're exfoliating. Maybe pull back and just experiment and see if your skin doesn't feel a little bit more hydrated, a little bit more relieved. This is a hard tip because, like I said, everybody's a little bit different, but if you are kind of pushing your skin too far, dehydration is definitely a symptom of a moisture barrier that has been weakened. Tip number 12, avoid super hot water when washing your face or showering. Now, I love really, really warm water. It feels incredibly relaxing. It feels great when your eyes are kind of dry and sore too, when you just kind of like hold some like warm water to it. Definitely feels super, super good. However, when the water is really hot, it can actually strip your skin of essential oils. Not essential oils, but oils that are essential to your skin, that are naturally present and protecting your skin. When those oils are stripped away, you're definitely opening up your skin to transepidermal water loss, which is dehydration, the loss of water through your skin's moisture barrier. So that's why it's really essential, if you are feeling a little bit of that kind of dehydrated feeling in your skin, that you don't wash with too hot of water, because you're kind of making the problem worse. One way that I help myself avoid that super hot water situation happening on my face is definitely, yeah, you can avoid the spray. It's tricky, but you can do it. But one of my favorite ways is just to do a wash-off mask when I'm in the shower. It kind of creates a protective barrier on your skin too. So if you're already kind of like deep in the throes of dehydration, you know how much worse you can feel after getting out of the shower. This helps so much because not only are you avoiding the spray because you want to protect your mask, but the mask is also protecting your skin. It's awesome. It feels so good, and you save time, and it's great. So that's kind of my like side tip. Avoid hot water, definitely, and side tip, try to use a mask to protect your skin. Tip number 11 is add humidity. Now, you probably know that a dry environment can definitely dry out the skin or cause dehydration, and that's definitely true of what's happening like outside weather-wise, definitely, but you really want to keep your eye on what's happening inside of your house, because, you know, air conditioning and heating, all of that forced air actually creates a very dry environment. And if you are kind of like going through dehydration, you may notice that when you wake up first thing in the morning is when your dehydration is almost at its worst. If you are waking up with drier, tighter skin than what you went to bed with, I would suggest sleeping with a humidifier. This actually has made a huge difference in my skin. I've been doing it for so many years, and it definitely helps. I do not wake up with super dehydrated skin anymore. I mean, you know, every day is different. Your skin goes through fluctuations, but not nearly as bad as it used to be. Not by any means. Humidifier has actually made a big difference in my skin. I don't talk about it a ton on my channel because it's like not a skincare product, but it is kind of like a skincare accessory, if you will, like a lifestyle accessory. It really does help with your skin. It helps you wake up with more comfortable, hydrated skin. It's amazing if you have sinus problems, which I definitely do, and allergies. It's great for that if you get a dry throat in the middle of the night. These are all actually signs that your environment is pretty dry too, so humidifier is going to benefit more than just your skin. It's awesome. I highly recommend it if you are going through dehydration. It can really be a lifesaver. Tip number 10 is to use a cleanser with a pH of 5.5. Now, human skin, natural pH level is 5.5, and you can find cleansers at this pH level pretty easily, but you can also very easily find that you're using a cleanser with a pH of 6, 7, 8, 9, yes, even 10. I've seen it. It's horrifying. And when you are using a cleanser with a high pH like that, you're constantly raising your skin's own pH level, which disrupts your skin's acid mantle, which messes around with the moisture barrier function. So you will definitely see an increase in dehydration if you're constantly using a high pH cleanser. You may also notice other unwanted side effects like inflammation. You're opening up your skin to potential bacterial infection, and very likely you're going to start to see some breakouts and some pimples. You might see an uptick in acne with a high pH cleanser. So if you don't know what the pH of your cleanser is, it's not on the bottle. You can always just throw the name of whatever you're using into Google and just put pH, like what's the pH of Aveeno blah blah, I don't know, but there's so many bloggers out there who have tested, you know, the pH of cleansers, that it's really easy to find the answer to your question. You can buy your own home pH strips. That's definitely what I do, just to test out and make sure. They're pretty inexpensive on Amazon, really easy to use, or, you know, like I have tons and tons of cleanser recommendations here on YouTube, and I only use cleansers with a pH of 5.5. So I have a playlist here on YouTube with all of my cleanser reviews. You can check that out if you want some recommendations from me. Tip number 9 is to boost hydration wherever possible. Now, if you are going through dehydration, you know one of the toughest times is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Your skin is really starting to feel that dehydrated, like it feels like your skin's doing this, like it's just crumpling up on itself and it's so thirsty and it feels really irritating like on your skin. It's actually a very bothersome feeling and you're like, gosh, I really need some hydration on my skin. In this moment, you might be tempted to whip out a mist and mist on top of your face to relieve that feeling. I've definitely done it before. You know, I do feel like this has become really popularized through K-beauty. You know, you see these very chic women pull out their mist and they just like mist their face in the middle of the day. And then they've got this beautiful like glass skin kind of glow to them. Yeah, it's super fun. When I worked in an office a few years ago, I definitely would bring a mist with me and I'd be like, I'm having a skincare moment, guys. And I would like mist my face. It was really fun, but I'm really not a fan of misting in this sense because I feel like it makes your skin feel good in the moment, but I actually feel like it makes it worse in the long run. Because whenever I mist on top of my skincare in the middle of the day and I don't top it off with anything else, it just feels like that mist evaporates right off of my skin. And not only does the mist go away, I feel like it kind of even sometimes takes the little bit of the hydration I did have left in my skin out of my skin. And so it's just like this terrible cycle where you just kind of keep misting and it keeps evaporating and then you keep misting and it keeps evaporating. However, I actually am a fan of misting, just not on top of skincare. I like to do it in between steps in my skincare routine. This could be a little bit of a different way to add more hydration into your skincare routine beyond just like layering up on toner or essence. So in between your skincare steps, like you put on an essence, do a little mist, kind of pat it in, let it absorb, put on your serum, do a little bit of mist, pat it in, let it absorb, and then kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of like sandwiching your skincare routine with layers of mist. It's a little way to get extra hydration in between layers. It feels really nice on the skin and it really will plump you up with lots of hydration. Tip number 8 is another hydration booster, and that's sheet masks. This can be a really quick way to get lots of hydration into your skin. If you're going through like a big period of dehydration, I would suggest kind of trying to keep up with sheet masks, doing them consistently, like 3 to even 5 times a week. I think the more consistent you are with sheet masks, the bigger and better the benefits are. Not just like the visible benefits, but even just the hydration benefits of sheet masks. But I think even just one use of a sheet mask can make a difference. And I always reach for them when I need them to make an immediate difference in my skin. Now, there's lots and lots of sheet masks out there that you could go to. I mean, a lot of them are really focused on hydrating the skin. One thing I would really recommend that you look out for in the ingredients is drying forms of alcohol. I don't think that that's great to put on your skin when you're in a dehydrated state. So just try to find alcohol-free sheet masks. There's so many out there. I'm just going to name a couple of my favorite ones that I personally reach for time and time again when my skin is feeling dehydrated. And I love the sheet masks from Benton. Their Centella mask. This has a really beautiful calming and soothing effect to it. And I also really like the Klairs Rich, Moist, Soothing Tencel sheet mask. Tip number 7 is skin tuition and keeping track of your skin's fluctuations. One of the biggest things that I've noticed on my journey with dehydrated skin is that my dehydration flares up in certain seasons. Late fall, early winter, when the cold snaps come in, when it starts to get really dry, when the heating is going on inside all day long, really drying out the skin, when it's really harsh and icy outside, that definitely messes with my skin's moisture barrier. And being able to make that link throughout a lot of time, right, of like paying attention to what my skin is doing, you know, it's really helped me kind of get a leg up on the issue because knowledge is power. That is why I think it's important to practice skin tuition, being in tune with your skin's fluctuations. And if you're just starting your skin journey, like if you're just starting to pay attention to what your skin is doing and trying to make links between why it's acting the way that it's acting, I'd actually just suggest starting a skin journal. You know, just document like how your skin is doing, maybe what products you're using, maybe the things that you want to address with your skincare products, and just kind of like update it, even not even every day if you don't want to, but maybe just weekly. Maybe document the like combination of products that you're using. That's when you can start to make links. Being in tune with your skin, it takes time. But once you kind of know how your skin likes to act, well, then you know how to treat it. And it can actually be really helpful for tracking when dehydration is occurring in your skin. Tip number 6 is to eat more omega-3 fatty acids. That's right, I said eat. Your diet definitely does affect your skin. So omega-3 fatty acids are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, and this is really important for your skin's lipid layer. So you can find omega-3 fatty acids, especially in fish. Salmon, tuna, mackerel, herring all have high omega-3 content. You can also find it in walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, and you can also find it in oils, cooking oils like canola oil, flaxseed, and soybean oils. So this is actually a newer tip that I just started incorporating over the summer, and it definitely has been making a difference. I eat a lot of walnuts. I eat lots of chia seeds. Occasionally I'll eat fish. It can be kind of expensive, right? But I try to make an effort to get more fish into my diet, but definitely lots of walnuts, lots of flax seeds, lots of chia seeds. And it has been making a difference. Not only does my skin feel less like dehydrated, my moisture barrier feels a lot more strong, but it's also helped with things like dry body skin, and it's helped with dry eyes as well. So, you know, nothing wrong with like kind of seeking out a nutrient in your diet. It's going to help your overall body, but give it a try, especially if you are suffering with like chronic dehydration, like it just kind of almost never goes away. You might be deficient in omega-3 fatty acids, and it could make a difference. And I think it's worth trying out and seeing how your body and how your skin reacts. Tip number 5, don't skip out on occlusives. Occlusives are skincare ingredients that kind of help create a film on the skin. Not like super thick or anything, but they just kind of lock it down. It's great to kind of finish off your skincare routine, lock your skincare in place, but it's also really good for fighting dehydration, because remember, it's not about how much hydration is in your skin, it's about the fact that the hydration is escaping your skin. When your moisture barrier is weak, it's not holding hydration in. So it's even more important that you're using an occlusive agent at the end of your skincare routine to kind of like slow down and stop that transepidermal water loss, because your moisture barrier is not working the way that it's supposed to. So definitely don't skip out on moisturizer. You can also use other occlusive agents on top of your moisturizer when dehydration gets super, super bad, like sleeping packs. Yes, those can actually go on top of your moisturizer, creating another occlusive layer. You do want to seek out the right type of textures. There's so many different ones out there, but these can actually be a huge part of your dehydration strategy, you know, for stopping transepidermal water loss. Like I said, especially at night, you seem to lose a lot of hydration through your skin. Sleeping packs really, really helpful. You can also just use, if you're desperate, you know what I'm saying? If it's really bad, just use plain old Aquapor. You can even use Vaseline if you want to. Any type of like petroleum type of agent creates the most occlusive barrier on the skin. It can really lock it in. Tip number 4, use a facial oil. Once I started using a facial oil, whoa, game changer. It changed everything for me. It's made a huge difference in my skin. So if you're thinking about adding a facial oil into your skincare routine, I highly recommend looking for one that has a high omega fatty acid composition that's going to be omegas 3, 6, and 9. So a couple examples here: rose hip, sunflower, safflower, chia seed, evening primrose, flaxseed, and cranberry oil all have high omega fatty acid composition to them, and very beneficial to dehydrated skin. One of my favorite oil blends is Stratia Fortify, because they blend a ton of different oils with high omega fatty acid composition. So it's like all the work is done for you. They've definitely kept their eye on the omega 3, 6, and 9 fatty acids in this facial oil. Now the next product is not a facial oil, but contains a lot of oils, and it's the Paula's Choice Omega Plus Serum. So this might be good if you're a little bit on the fence about adding like pure oil into your skincare routine, but you are really wanting the benefits of adding more omega 3, 6, and 9 fatty acids. Tip number 3, we're going back to hydration boosting tips. This This is one of my favorites. It's the hydration sandwich. This is a little bit different than the misting tip that we talked about earlier. Now, you know that toners are one of my favorite skincare products for getting lots of hydration into your skin, and they're essential for dehydrated skin. But I also sometimes like layering two different types of toners in my skincare routine. One with a really nice light watery texture that's all about purely hydrating and relieving the skin. The second one having a little bit of a thicker texture, something with more body yaddy to it that hugs that watery hydration into the skin. It almost acts like a little cover or a little layer on top that just like gently hugs that hydration into your skin. Tip number 2 is know your hydrating ingredients. This is incredibly important when you're seeking out skincare that's going to help relieve your dehydration symptoms. Remember, knowledge is power. There's a lot of different hydrating ingredients out there that you can know, but I'm just gonna name 2 of my favorites. Number 1 is glycerin. Now, this is actually naturally already present in your skin, but when you add it into your skincare topically, it's very, very helpful for hydrating the skin, and it's really helpful for your skin's moisture barrier function because glycerin not only hydrates your skin, but it helps your skin hold on to hydration. Now, another one that I really like is panthenol. This is another great hydrator, brings lots of hydration. It's a humectant ingredient, and it also has some wonderful abilities to soothe irritated skin. It's a great anti-inflammation type of ingredient, which is also very nice because, like I said, sometimes dehydrated skin can start to feel very irritated and inflamed. Panthenol soothes that beautifully. But panthenol is another ingredient that also helps your skin hold on to that hydration. Just don't add it. It actually helps with your skin's moisture barrier function by supporting your skin's lipid layer. We've talked so much about the lipid layer in this video. You understand how important it is to holding hydration in place. Panthenol can really help fortify your lipid layer. So it's a great hydrating ingredient to look out for. And tip number 1, my top tip for fighting dehydrated skin is know your skin barrier's holy trinity of ingredients. That's right, ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids. If you've been watching my channel before, you've heard me say it. This is incredibly important to your skin's moisture barrier. Now remember, at the top of the video, the very first tip, I told you, dehydration is linked to a weak moisture barrier. Throughout the entire video, I've been talking about all the ways you can weaken your moisture barrier, how you can hurt it, how you can damage it, right? We've talked all about that. But the top way to fight dehydrated skin is to make that moisture barrier stronger. This is how you do it because your moisture barrier is made up of 50% of ceramides and 25% respectively of cholesterol and fatty acids. Adding these, ingredients through skincare topically is going to help immensely with your moisture barrier function, along with all the other things that we talked about. You've heard me talk about it before. I'm sure you've heard this advice before, but I just really want to stress how important it is to really getting down to the root cause of your dehydration. Now, you may be thinking about, well, what products do you recommend? And I might be like, this is already a very long video. So I am going to tell you to check out some of my other videos. I just did my favorite ceramide skincare products last week. So definitely check that video out. I'll link it right up here for you and in the info box if you need some product recommendations. But this is definitely going to be one of the top ways to fight dehydrated skin. So I hope you guys enjoyed those tips, and I am really curious to know, what are your personal tips for fighting dehydration? Let me know in the comment box below. Let's all help each other out. And if you love the video, if you gained value from it, please do consider hitting subscribe before you go. I release lots of new skincare content throughout the week, just like this video. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop when all that new content drops. I hope you guys are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next video. Bye.